Hi guys, and welcome to calculator created using .NET MAUI. Okay, let me show you guys how this works. I'm going to use the backspace. Let's assume we want to multiply something. There we go. And divide that by maybe 7. There. And plus minus. Let's add 70 to that and see what will happen. Plus 70. There we go. Okay. We can clear it all. We can even enter 2.9, just like any other calculator. Okay, the whole idea of this is you creating your own mobile app calculator. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to exit out and we start a new project. So let's right click here and just select Visual Studio 2022. And we click on create new project. In there, what we want to select is .NET MAUI. Look at it right there. I've already selected it, but for those of you that is about to do this for the first time, you can always search for it just right there. Just type in .NET MAUI. Okay, .NET MAUI application. That is it. Okay, multi-application platform interface. That is it right there. Just select that, right, and click on it. Then select next. Give your project a name. I'm going to call it CS underscore calculator. There we go. So I'm going to click on next. All right. I'm going to be using this very framework .NET 9.0. It's actually a standard term support. There's another one here, long-term support, but I'm just going to stick with the 9.0. Okay, so let's click on create. And there we go. Our development environment is ready. So I'm going to click on the Solution Explorer here. There. Inside the Solution Explorer, there's some sample program in there that you can just play around with. You see this MAUI program.cs, just double click on that. And that's where you go. Get all the necessary information about the application that you intend to create. Let's go back. I'm going to click on this main page one. Inside this main page one, there's a demo in there. If you decide to run the demo, this is what you're going to end up with. And right there, guys, that's what you end up with. Hello world. Okay, you can see in here, that is the hello world right there. You can always change that to whatever you want to change it to. The choice is yours. Okay, so whatever you change it to, that's what you're going to get. So let's run that again and you see that. That is just a demo. You look at it. And you can always just position it to whatever you want. And every time you click on it, you see it's counting. But that is not what today's tutorial is about. Today's tutorial is about creating a calculator. But just before I continue, I'm going to show you guys the emulator. Those are different emulators. The one I'm using is just for the Windows machine. If you decide to choose any of these, have a good read on any of the emulator that you selected, okay? So I'm not going to go into that. It's just this section is about creating a calculator. So I'm going to then copy all of these, just highlight it all, and I'll get rid of it because I don't need it. There. If you notice, I've left the vertical layout. These are just all the information about the app itself. So right in here, where we have the vertical spread layout, I'm going to just go right underneath here. So first of all, let me enter. That is just going to be comment. This comment will be for it to display. Okay, that is the comments. Okay, now right underneath here, I'm now going to say entry, and that is going to be known as X. And this X, I'm going to give it a name. This name is going to be, let's say name is going to be equals txt display. That's for my text box. I'm also going to define my font size for this text box. That's a font size. There we go. And that's going to be, let's make it about 30. We can always change that. And let's say horizontal alignment up to the end. Okay, let's say horizontal alignment, text alignment. That will be up to the end. Okay, next is I'm going to define it as read only. Let's say is read only. And I'm going to say that is true. And let's go for background. Background. I'm going to make the color maybe white. Let's just put in white in there. White. You can change the color to whatever, and you'll see the definition of your color right there. So let's just change it to red. Check this out. You see? So I'm going to just undo, bring it back to white. And next is going to be the heights. Let's say heights request. I want to make that about 60. I'll just come right here and end the whole process. There we go. I've just finished the processing of my text box. Okay, since my text box is in place, if I decide to run this now, I'm going to end up with an error. The reason being because the definition for the previous app was there. Let me just show it to you guys so that you get used to that. I'm going to say yes because I want to show you where the error is. Okay, I agree. That's my text box. Okay, but let's show you the error. In here, you see where we have the main page, drop it down and you get another file in there, main page dot xaml dot cs. Double click on that. That is the error. These are this actually came with the very first interface that you guys saw earlier. So I'm going to just highlight and get rid of that. Just delete it. I don't need it. I'll be entering some other functions in there. Delete everything. Okay. So I'm going to save that. So I'll leave these three tabs open. So let's come in here. You can always go back to build and just rebuild. Okay, I'm going to run it again, but before I run it, just to prove to you that the display is there, remember it's white, I'm going to change it to maybe green. I want you guys so that you will know the display is there. So let's run it and you see that. And there we go, it's coming up now. There, okay? That's my display. So it's left for you to just adjust it to the size of your app. Alright, so I'm going to undo that. Let's leave it back to white. There we go. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to define the rows for the button, the rows and the columns. So let's come right underneath here. I might as well just copy this. Say define rows and column. Paste it right there. And just change this to rows. For the row 1 is going to be as follows. So right underneath here, let's create a grid. This should be 2. Yeah. Okay. So this grid is going to be column definitions, and that is going to be, I'm going to make that 4 stars. 1, 1, comma, 2, 3, and 4. I have all the stars that I intend to use. So let's come right down here. Next is going to be let's define the role definition. So role definition. And I'm going to make that 5. So column is 4, row is 5. Next, I'm going to add a bit of spacing to it. So let's say column spacing. and I'll just make that about 5. And the next is going to be row spacing. Make that 5 as well. There, let's close that up. There we go. And right there you can see the grill is closed up, so let's put it down here. Now the next thing I want to do is to create my very first button. So right here I'm just going to say button, and that will take in the following text, and that is going to be equals. This button will be backspace, but I'm going to grab the backspace on or in Word. So I'm going to open up Word and select insert, and once you select insert, go to symbols. That's the backspace, but I need to show you guys the font name. So the font name is actually called Wingdings right there. Okay, you must include Wingdings, else you will end up with an error. So if you come down, you can always see the backspace there. That's it. Select insert. Okay. Now I also copy the name Wingdings, so I'm going to copy this backspace and paste it right in here. There we go. That's how it's going to look like. Alright, I also need to show you guys the fonts. Okay, we might as well just enter the fonts. So let's say font family, there we go. It's going to be Wingdings, this very one. Okay, let's copy Wingdings, paste it right in there. Alright, that one is sorted. Next is going to be the grid dot column. In this case, it's going to be known as 0. The first one is 0. What about the font size? Font size. Just copy this. Let's make it about 50. Right. We have, oh, that's for column. What about the row? The row will be 0 as well. Might as well just, let's do it this way. Copy that. That will be row. Paste the row there. Let's change this to rows. Dot rows. There we go. Row is 0, column is 0. Okay. Next is going to be the width. Let's define a width. Width requested, I'm going to make that about 90. Then the height is going to be about 90 as well. Make that 90. Yeah. And what else do we need? Because I want it to be round, the round button. So I can always say corner radius. I'm going to make that about 50. So the corner radius is about 50. And that is that for now. Okay. So I'm going to expand the whole process there. There we go. So my first button is created. Okay. If I decide to run it, let's just run it and you guys see how that's going to look like. Click on run. Check that out. That's how the first button is looking. Okay. So let's close that. And you can see it with a default color in there. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to copy this. Copy. Come right down here. Paste. That's going to be for the 2, row 3, row number 4. As you can see, the first row is backspace, and that's how it's looking in here. So the next row is going to be CE, clear entry. CE. And I'm going to just delete this font family. Let us use a default font for that. Okay. And the row is still in row 0, column. This time around is going to be column number 1. Okay, the font size remains the same, height remain the same, and so on. And we get the corner as well. So repeat exactly the same thing for the others here. So delete this, and this is 2. Okay, and in here that is C. There. Alright. And this is going to be the plus minus. Let's grab hold of a plus minus you need. Go to symbol, plus minus. That is it right there. I'm just going to copy that and paste it right in here. That's the plus minus. Get rid of this font family. Alright, looking good. Now, this is going to be 3. There. And that's it. I've just finished defining the very first row. So let's run it and see. Yeah, I think it's right. Good. Check that out, guys. You can see the color, default background color. I did not enter this color. So if you want, you can always change that very color. Maybe I'm going to set it for, let's grab all of this background here. Just dump it somewhere. I can change it to maybe light blue or something. Yeah, maybe here, dump it here. Let's change it to light blue or sky blue. Let's see. Let's see light blue. How that's going to work. Light blue. Yeah, there is light blue there. Yeah. Okay, that's how light blue is looking. I'm gonna run it. I just want to see how it's gonna look like before I go any further. Let's see. Alright, that's how the light blue is looking. Yes, that's good. Might as well set it for light blue. Okay, so light blue, grab full of light blue and copy and paste. There we go. Now we have light blue for all, apart from this very one here. This one here, we can just leave this color as blue. Let's put okay, light blue. Let's run this and see. This has no color. Let's just give it color as well. Light blue. Alright, run. Let's see how that's going to look. Okay, that's how it's looking now. Now close that. Let's create the numbers. I'm going to select these ones. So that's going to be for row number 2. So you can always speed up what's seen now. And for row number 2, this will be 7, 8, 9. And here that will be the plus sign. There we go. Row number 2 is taken care of, but in that case, this will become row 1, 1, 1, and 1. That is it, done. Run. Brilliant. Check that out. Okay, I need to position. I think that something is missing here. Let's see what's that missing. The 7, 8. Alright, this should be 0, 0, 1, 2. There. That's the error taken care of. Run. Nice one. Okay, so the rest is easy now. So let's just copy, paste, and change things around. Copy, paste, paste, and one more. paste. Okay. All right, that's good. So the next thing we want to do now is to take care of that will be 3, I believe. No, that will be 4, 4, 5, 6, and this is subtract. So this will be 2, 2, 2, and 2. Nice one. Then here we have 3. No, that will be 1, 2, and 3. And this is multiplication sign. Maybe use this here. And this will be 3, 3, 3, and 3. And here will be 4, 4, and 4, and 4, and 4. Okay, this one will be 0. And here is decimal. And here will be equals. And division. Okay. I think I've just finished creating my buttons. So let's run that. Run. Let's see. That's it, guys. I've just finished creating my buttons. Okay, that is fine. So let's kind of like put this form of contrast here so that all of this we have the same color, and the same color, and this will stand out in the middle. Okay, anything that is not number button, I'm going to change the color of those. So this will be maybe blue. So this will be blue. Delete that, change this to blue. All this will be blue. Then on the operators, another operator here, and another one here. All the operators are blue. Then this one will be blue. Blue. You don't have to use blue, you can just leave it the way it is. Alright, that's good. I'm going to run it and let's see how that looks like. There we go, guys. See that? Okay. Like I said, you can always define the kind of emulator you intend to use. Okay. That is all done. So I'm going to call it the end of the first part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly.